Hello guys, welcome to another video. And in today's video, we are going to learn about how your loaders work when you have multi-level nested layouts. So let's take an example. Right now in my application, I do have only one route, that is index route. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a layout first and I'm going to name it layout. You can name it anything you want. It just, you need to present underscore before the name, then it's going to act as a layout. If you don't know about layouts and if you want to learn how multi-level nested loaders work, then you should watch my previous video where I've explained how actual layouting works in Remix. Then only you will have more out of this video than going directly to this video. Alright, but right now I'm going to create layout, export, oops, default, and I'm going to name it as layout. It's going to be a function, and here I am going to return few things, but if you want to render child components, child routes, then you need to have layout, outlet in the layout. That's what I'm going to have it here. And here you can perform anything. Maybe I want to create some navigation here. One, two. I'm going to fill these things later. All right, just for an example, we have one layout now. Now, how to use layout? Now, let's take an example. I want to use this layout in sales routes and its nested child. So, first of all, I want to create a sales route, which is going to be an index for me. So, what I can do is I'm going to use a folder approach. If you want to use a layout, you need to specify the layout name first. I'm going to use this layout. Then the route name, I want to create a route which is called sales. Now I want to create an index file for this sales. Then I'm going to specify index for it. This, and I'm going to name it route.tsx. Cool. Now, here what I can do is I can just copy this component, have it here. I can just do sales, and here I can print sales index for now. We are not going to add any UI on this video, but yes, at the end of the course I'm going to create a separate video where I'm going to explain how you can put everything together and create a cool projects in Remix, how senior engineers work. That's what we are going to read at the end of this course, but now we're just going to simply learn how functionality works behind the scenes. Okay, I do have a sales route. Now if I go here and open sales, you see I have it here, but we are also using layout, and layout has this. Maybe if I remove it, then you see only this, but if I have it, then you see this content as well. So let's assume it is the navigation for you. Now what I'm going to do is not only index, I want to create some other layout as well, other route as well. Maybe let's you use the same layout, that is layout sales, and I'm going to name it as latest. So now my route is going to be sales dot latest or sales slash latest. Here I'm going to create another route.tsx, and let's have it something similar here. I'm going to name it sales latest. Name should be random. You can name it anything you want. Sales latest. Okay. I don't need to reload it, but I did. It's okay. Now if I go and open this URL, now you see it working under the same layout, that is this. Now we have two URLs, sales slash latest and the sales as an index, and both are using this layout. Now let's take an example. Each route you're creating in this, whether it's a layout, whether it's the actual route, you can have a loader in the file. And I'm going to just print here like layout loader. Now if I save this, run this, and it is not printing anything because I think you need to return something from the loader. Alright, let's do it now. Okay, maybe I'm missing something. Oh, the spelling is wrong. It happens. Okay, see, if you do it, it's going to give you error because whenever you're creating a loader, it should return you something. So for now, I'm going to just return null. Reload. And if I go to the console, you see I am printing layout loader from this place. Now this is the layout, right? But we do have routes, the actual routes which are using this layout. Now what if they have their own loader? But if I copy it here and create a loader for the index of sales, and I'm just going to bring index of sales here. Cool. Now if I go back to my index file, it's not going to print you anything. Now if I go to sales is going to have this layout as well as this actual route, and the layout is the actual place where your route is rendering under this outlet. So you have two loaders running. The first one is layout loader and the second one is, let me rename it as well, loader index of sales. The second one should be the index of sales page loader. The hierarchy is very simple. Let me show you the route structure as well. See, this is the routes we have so far, whatever we have created under this routes folder. We have routes, yes. We have root, yes. Root is the main parent of every other route you create under this route folder. It's fine. I do have a layout I created, and under this layout, I created two routes. See, this layout is a parent of them, right? So ultimately, if you logically see this structure, whenever you try to open this page, maybe if you want to open this page, layout.stale.later. So maybe if you want to just open the index one, then ultimately it has to come from this layout, right? Because layout is a parent of the sales index page. So whenever you have layout or a parent route, then always the loader of parent route is going to trigger first. Always the loader of parent route is going to trigger first. Even if I create another loader here, which is a sibling route that is latest, and their parent is underscore layout, which is a layout file. And if I just print layout, say latest, save this, and if I open this, then again the output should be layout loader because layout is a parent of sales latest and again the sales latest. Why we are having this structure in Linux and how it benefits us? Let's take an example. Now, if you want to, let's suppose you want to make this sales route secure so that only the users which are authenticated should open this layout, none other users. In that case, what you can do is maybe you can check whether user is authenticated here, right? In the actual route loader. So this is the index sales. It is the actual route. Here I can check if user, or maybe I can do something like user dot logged in is equal to true. Maybe let's give it something like this. Cons user is equal to logged in true. And I can define user here. Maybe I don't want user to open this route, right? I want user to maybe redirect to login page, to login first to access this route because this route is authenticated, right? In that case, what I can do, I can redirect something here. We will see in a bit how we can redirect. But let's do one thing here. Let's log user is logged in. Okay, I need to remove this. Perfect. So now it is in the index file, sales index file. But if I want to check authentication in latest as well, then again I need to create the same logic there as well, right? I need to go to this route and have the same logic here. But you know how this layout is benefiting us? We don't need to repeat this in each route because we do have a parent of all this route, all the sales route, that is underscore layout, and the layout is the actual file, and it can also have its own loader, and we know it is going to trigger first before the actual route. The layout loader is going to trigger first. So rather having this repeated task here, rather checking authentication in all the routes, what if you do check in the layout? So I need to paste it here and to go back, remove, cut, layout this, and maybe I can remove it, and I can remove it from here as well. All good. Okay, now if I go, now it is rendering, the layout is working, right? Because I have set is logged in true. But if I set it false, then it should print me user is logged out. So it is printing me user is logged out. Then in that case, I want to perform some action, maybe redirect user to some other page. Okay. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another file that is going to be login.tsx. So login is going to be another route for me where I'm going to just have this component login, and here I'm just going to say h1 login page, and if I just check it for now, it doesn't use any layout, so it's just going to print me login page. But now if from this layout, if I want to check whether is user logged in, if it is logged in, then I just want to have this layout, have this route rendered, but otherwise I want to redirect it to the login page. Previously in traditional React app, we redirect in the client side by having use stack to maybe using use navigate hook. But in Remix, they give you power to redirect from the server side as well inside the loader itself by calling a function which is called redirect, which is coming from Remix run React part. And if I go here and just specify the URL where I want to redirect and just return it here. Now, if I try to open sales page, say it is redirecting to log sales latest. It is redirecting to login. That's how you create secured routes in Remix, having a layout, check all the authentication there. And if you want to authenticate, you can do it something like this. If user is not authenticated, but if it is authenticated, just have everything working as it is. Right? That's the power Remix gives you, and it is very simple to achieve. You don't need to worry about uh, having logic on each route, checking whether the user is authenticated or not. Just have it on layout, right? It is very simple in Remix. Okay, now let's try to create the actual links which can on the click of the link which can lead me to the actual page. So if you want to have a link, Remix provide you a component which is called link, just like React Router, and here you need to specify where you want to go, or maybe here I want to go to login. Okay, so this page cannot access when user is not logged in, so let's leave it here. Maybe let's pass logout, logout, and let's create another link as well. Sales, latest, latest sales. Okay, now if I try to open the sales, okay, it's redirecting me to login because I need to change this to true. Sales, okay, we see two links here. Well, they are not looking very much like links, but we don't need to worry about the UI now. We can learn how to build UI in Remix later in upcoming videos. But let me do this so that we understand it's again. But it's up to you how you're designing. We are not focusing on designing in today's video. Just to a link, right? Log out latest sales. Right now I'm sales. If I click on this, it redirect me to sales latest. And again, that is the beauty of modern JavaScript frameworks. They don't reload the whole page. It's just like they simply, okay, we don't have logouts complaining. We simply reload the wall component rather reloading the wall page. Or maybe let's have another link here. Sales, sales. Okay. Right now it's sales latest. If I click on it, it's going to take me to sales, sales latest, and the logo. And again, we are having whatever we have in the routes. If I click on this sales latest, we see sales latest. If I click on sales, the actual content of the sales index is rendered here. That is the beauty of Remix. But if you see one thing here, which is very, very interesting, and if I just reload this page, and if I see what we have received from the server side, we receive all the links here, right? These are the links. Even if you see it is clickable, it's a link, right? But if I just close everything here and try to go to latest sales page, now if you see the new page is rendered, but it is not fetching all the data from the server side, because whenever you have links and navigate in the client side to another URL, another route, it doesn't go to the server and render everything on server side and return you the non-hybrid page. It just like it loads everything in the client side. It has all the data in the client side. If you click on this page, the loader is going to trigger at the back end, but the data is going to received on the client side, rather generating everything on the server side. So all the routes, when you navigate from the application, they are going to be rendered at client side. They are not going to be rendered at server side. Okay, now let's try to understand how we can access parameters from the URL to the loader, right? Like if I'm passing something with sales, and if I want to pass date, or maybe if I want to pass month, maybe Jan, but if I want to access this Jan in the loader and act on this Jan value accordingly. So Remix give you a way to access all the parameters you have in the URL in the loader directly, so that before actual rendering, you can have all the data ready, so that the actual rendered page is going to be ready with all the data. So what you can do is, this loader is accept one parameter, which is going to be of loader function args. You can find this type from the Remix packages itself. Now if I control space, you see there are three things. Now if I click on the params, console.log, and I'm going to print params. Now you see it's not going to print me anything, first of all, because this param is not the params you see here. These are the params which are the dynamic segment in your URL. Maybe let's take an example. If you want to create another URL, copy, paste, and here if I find latest dot date, right? And I have this sales by date, and maybe if I open sales, and it's going to be sales latest, and let's have Jan as the value. It is still printing me this. It is still printing me this. Sales latest, it is not printing me this, because sales latest, sale latest date, the image doesn't know which one is index one. So if you do something like this, dot underscore index, now I think it's gonna work. Now the sales date, if I go back to the latest, it is latest. If I go back to the sales, it's just going to be a sales index. Okay, let's go back to the save state, this one. But still the layout is going to trigger for us. And the layout, if I see params, and specifically if I again reload this, you see we have one param that is state, and it is a dynamic segment from the URL. But what we were doing is we were checking the queries. These are the queries. If you want to check the queries, what you can do is that the params you can have request, and request is going to give you URL, new URL, request.url. Oopsie. And here you can do URL dot search params dot get, and I want to get the month one. And if I try to print it, okay. If again reload, you see it was already printed you once, but again it is printing in Jan. If I change it to Feb, it is going to print you Feb. That's how you can extract the queries in the loader. Well, in the actual component you can do it. There are many hooks you can use, but in the loader, I think this is one of the way. But if you want to access a dynamic segment like this, then you can use params, something like this. So that's all we are going to discuss in this video. If you have any doubts, if you want to suggest me anything, please do reach out and comment on the video so that I can learn and I can do better in the next video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.